cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. But let's zoom in on a scene that feels, far more intimate and infinitely more terrifying. It's 2015. We're inside a bridal suite that smells of expensive hairspray and just impending doom. The white dress is flawless, the lighting perfect, but the silence in the room, it's heavy enough to crush you. Bree, the bride, is standing completely still. In her hand, she's gripping a phone like it's a grenade that has just had the pin pulled, and playing from it is a voice memo that shatters 8 years of carefully constructed peace. It's the voice of her fiancé, Evan, confessing to sleeping with her best friend. And the architect of this whole moment, the person who sent the file, the best man, Stephen DeMarco. Outside those doors, the guests are waiting for a wedding, but inside, the most toxic drama on television has just dropped the other shoe.
It's the absolute definition of a nightmare scenario. But for the millions of fans tracking Hulu's Tell Me Lies, this isn't just a nightmare. It is the beautiful, calculated disaster we have been waiting for since 2024.
It really is. Welcome to StarScope Report.
We're so glad you're here with us.
Join us as we uncover the stories behind the fame. From red carpet shocks to the on-screen scandals that really define the culture, we dive deep into the headlines, the music industry shakeups, and, the viral influencer scandals that you just can't look away from.
And today our mission is to make sense of the explosive Season 3 of Tell Me Lies. This season premiered on January 13th, 2026, and the data is just staggering. It has absolutely obliterated streaming records on Disney Plus and Hulu. The headline everyone is reading is pretty simple. Lucy and Stephen, the most toxic season ever.
Toxic gets thrown around a lot these days, but in this case, it feels like a massive understatement. We're focusing this deep dive on the first 4 episodes, which takes us up through January 20th. And we have a huge amount of psychological ground to cover today. We have to resolve that wedding cliffhanger. We need to analyze the terrifying new lows Stephen DeMarco has hit. And we have to talk about why fans and critics are calling this the most nauseating season of television yet.
Nauseating is definitely the word of the week in the reviews. It's visceral. So let's just get right into it. Segment 1, the wedding day disaster. This is the 2015 timeline.
Okay, so to make sure everyone is on the same page, let's quickly reset the stakes. Season 2 ended on a massive cliffhanger. Stephen, acting as this total agent of chaos, sent Bree a voice memo he had been hoarding for nearly a decade. It was a recording of Evan confessing that he cheated on her with Lucy back in college.
Which, if we just pause and analyze the psychology there for a second, holding onto a voice memo for 8 years, that goes so far beyond standard pettiness or jealousy. That is a strategic reserve. That is keeping a nuclear weapon in your pocket just in case you get bored on a Saturday.
It's weaponized information, completely. And the resolution we got in the Season 3 premiere was fascinating because it totally defied genre expectations. If this were a standard soap opera or even a typical drama, we'd have screaming. We'd have a slapped face. A canceled wedding.
A runaway bride, for sure. The expectation is an explosion, but instead we got an implosion. Something much, much darker. Bree listens to the tape. She processes that her fiancé cheated. She processes that her best friend, Lucy, betrayed her. And her reaction isn't to scream. She just looks at Lucy and says, "I'm a terrible person." Probably the worst person you know.
That line is the key insight for this entire timeline. I'm probably the worst person you know, and then she walks down the aisle anyway.
It was chilling, and the way that scene was shot tells us everything. As she's walking toward the altar, she isn't looking at Evan with love. She isn't looking at the floor in shame or anything. She locks eyes with Stephen DeMarco.
And it wasn't fear in her eyes. I expected fear. I expected her to look defeated.
No, it was defiance, a challenge. It completely shifts the power dynamic. Stephen expected to blow up her world, to see her crumble, to prove that he controls the narrative. Instead, Bree just absorbed the blast and kept walking. It's almost like she's saying, "You can't hurt me because I'm already broken," or maybe I'm playing a game you don't even understand yet.
So let's get into the theories on this. Because clearly, Bree is holding a card that we have not seen yet. You don't make that walk unless you have some kind of shield.
Right. If you look at the source material and the fan reactions, there's a really strong suspicion that Bree is hiding a massive secret of her own. That comment about being a terrible person isn't just self-pity. It reads like a distinct admission of guilt.
And this is where it gets really interesting. There are leaks and, source materials suggesting Stephen might have discovered something on Wrigley's unlocked phone in episode 4. the speculation is heavy that Bree might have had an affair or some kind of significant entanglement with Wrigley.
Which would frame the wedding in a completely different light. If she has her own skeletons, Evan's betrayal just becomes a wash. It equalizes the playing field. It's not forgiveness, it's mutually assured destruction. It's a pact of silence.
It's so messy, but it feels so realistic in this work universe. But emotionally, I mean, how do you even process the awkwardness of marrying a man 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes after hearing him confess?
You don't process it emotionally, you process it pragmatically, or, you compartmentalize it to a pathological degree. We have to remember Bree's background. She's marrying into stability, she's marrying into money, she's securing a life she didn't have growing up in foster care. She might just be deciding that the lie of the marriage is worth more than the truth.
It's survival. She's choosing the lifestyle over the love, or at least over the fidelity.
Precisely. But while the wedding was tense, that psychological warfare is just the tip of the iceberg. Because what happens back in the 2008 timeline makes this look like, well, child's play.
Oh, absolutely. The wedding was uncomfortable. But what we see in the college timeline, that is crossing the line into actual criminal behavior. And that brings us to the thing everyone is talking about online. If you think a ruined wedding is bad, wait until you hear about the humiliation ritual Stephen orchestrated in episode 3. It has the entire internet feeling physically ill.
So let's move to segment 2, the confession tape in the 2008 timeline. If you thought Stephen was just a bad boyfriend before, the sources are now labeling him a supervillain in a polo shirt.
That is such a perfect description, so let's set the scene. Back in college, Lucy and Stephen have reunited.
Yes, despite everything that happened in Season 2, the showrunner, Megan Oppenheimer, and various critics are using a very specific term for this dynamic.
Being digmatized.
Digmatized. It's a great word. It sounds kind of funny, but the reality of it is actually pretty grim. Let's break that down.
It's essentially where the chemical attraction and the cycle of abuse completely overrides your survival instincts. It's that feeling where you know the person is bad for you, your friends tell you they're bad for you, your brain tells you to run, but your body stays. It's an addiction. So they're back together, but the toxicity has escalated, significantly. Stephen discovers that Lucy slept with Evan.
And the hypocrisy here is staggering, considering Stephen has slept with half the campus, usually while Lucy was literally waiting in his dorm room. Well, narcissists don't do equality. They view people as property. So when he finds out, he doesn't just break up with her. He demands repentance. This is the storyline at episode 3 that has people feeling genuinely nauseated.
He coerces her. He forces Lucy to record a video. But it's not just a video of her saying, "I'm sorry I cheated." It's so much worse and so much more specific.
No, he forces her to look into a camera and record a fake confession, admitting that she lied about Chris, that's Lydia's brother, sexually assaulting her. Now, we need to be very clear on the facts here because the show is dense. Chris did assault someone. He assaulted Pippa. Lucy had claimed it happened to her to protect Pippa and to get people to believe it because she didn't think they would believe Pippa.
Right, so she lied about who the victim was, but not the crime itself. The crime was real. But Stephen makes her record a video saying she made the whole thing up, that no assault happened, and that she is a liar.
He essentially forces her to brand herself a destroyer of reputations. And he keeps this video. It's blackmail. It ensures that if she ever tries to expose his secrets, like his involvement in Macy's death, he can release this tape and ruin her credibility forever.
I read some reviews calling this scene depraved and calling Stephen a psychopath. And honestly, looking at the mechanics of it, I agree. It was just hard to watch. It wasn't just a breakup fight. It was an interrogation.
It is a humiliation ritual. That's what Reddit users are calling it. And the term fits perfectly. It shifts Stephen from being a toxic boyfriend to being a predator using psychological warfare. He is systematically dismantling her self-worth so she feels she has nowhere else to go but him. He's isolating her from her own integrity.
And the worst part is the compliance. She does it. She records the tape, she looks into the lens and just destroys herself.
Yeah, that's the digmatized effect in action. She believes she deserves the punishment. It's a terrifying look at how coercive control works. It's not just about love. It's about breaking someone's reality until they align with yours.
Yeah.
She thinks she is earning his forgiveness, but she is actually signing a warrant for her own entrapment.
It really cements him as one of the most terrifying characters on TV right now because he doesn't use guns or violence. He uses your own shame against you. What was your visceral reaction just watching that scene?
I felt genuine horror. I mean, you are watching a young woman sign away her future autonomy to a monster. It creates this feeling of entrapment that the audience feels right along with her. You want to reach through the screen and shake her, but you know she wouldn't listen.
And just when you think it can't possibly get messier, there's a pregnancy test involved.
There always is.
This season is moving so fast, and the theories are flying everywhere. If you want to keep up with every twist in the Tell Me Lies saga, hit that subscribe button right now. We'll be tracking every single lie until the finale.
You definitely want to stay tuned, because the collateral damage in segment 3 is extensive. It's not just about Lucy and Steven anymore.
Let's get into that. Segment 3, the web widens. Because you can't have a black hole like Steven and Lucy without pulling other people in.
Precisely. The toxicity is spilling over. We have to talk about Diana.
Diana. For so long, she was the one person we thought might escape with her dignity intact. She just seemed too smart for all of this.
Well, in episodes 3 and 4, we find out Diana is pregnant, and it's Steven's.
But Diana handles this so differently than Lucy would. Lucy would probably see it as, I don't know, a bond?
She does.
Yeah.
Diana is smart. She realizes that Steven is, quote, a ticking time bomb. She plans to terminate the pregnancy. And it's crucial to note that she isn't just doing it because of the timing. She's doing it because she realizes that being permanently tethered to Steven DeMarco via a child is a death sentence for her happiness.
It's such a stark contrast to Lucy, who seems incapable of cutting that cord. Diana sees the trap and just steps around it. But here is where it gets really interesting for the fans. We have to talk about Diana and Pippa.
The 2015 timeline gives us a very different dynamic. We see Diana and Pippa as a couple.
The love story we didn't know we needed.
It's the only breath of fresh air in the show. You have all this darkness everywhere else, and then you have Pippa and Diana in what looks like a genuine honeymoon phase. It gives the audience someone to root for.
The gays survived, as the fans are saying online. It's become this massive rallying cry on social media.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it creates this intense emotional whiplash. You're rooting for them in 2015, seeing them happy, but then you cut back to 2008 and watch them getting absolutely destroyed. It just heightens the tragedy of the past because you know how hard they had to fight to get to that peace in the future.
Speaking of destruction, we have to talk about the new guy, Alex. He's Bree's foster brother, a grad student. And Lucy. Oh, boy.
This is disturbing. Lucy hooks up with Alex, but the dynamic is all wrong. She asks him to call her pathetic.
Ugh, that scene made my skin crawl. It wasn't about pleasure, it was about self-harm.
It connects directly back to that humiliation ritual with Steven. Lucy is internalizing that shame. She's using degradation as a coping mechanism for her guilt. She feels she deserves to be treated like garbage, so she seeks it out. She's reenacting the trauma to try and control it.
It's heartbreaking. You watch her spiral and you realize Steven doesn't even have to be in the room to hurt her anymore. He's in her head.
That is such a profound point. The show really explores how one toxic couple just emits a poison. Megan Oppenheimer, the showrunner, she talks about this a lot. Lucy and Steven infect Bree, they infect Wrigley, they infect newcomers like Amanda. No one is safe from the fallout of their dysfunction.
It's like secondary smoke, but with trauma. You can get sick just by standing next to them.
Precisely. And that infection is spreading faster and faster as we get deeper into the season.
Now, we mentioned earlier that Bree might be the worst person coming up. We'll explain the shocking connection between the bride and the best man that Steven is ready to exploit.
And you really need to know about the final shot of the most recent episode, because it changes everything about what we thought we knew.
Don't let the drama end here. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our breakdown of the season finale next month. You really won't want to watch it alone.
So let's bring this all back to the listener. Why does this matter? Why are millions of people tuning in to watch these people just destroy each other?
I think it's catharsis. I mean, we've all known a Steven, maybe not a criminal mastermind Steven, but a gaslighter, a manipulator, someone who made us question our own reality.
I agree, but I also think it's a warning. The show is a masterclass in red flags. It forces us to ask, at what point does fighting for love just become fighting for survival?
That is the question. So let's just recap the chaos before we sign off.
Okay, Bree is married but miserable, staring down her enemy at the altar. Steven holds a blackmail tape over Lucy that could ruin her life. Diana is pregnant and realizing she needs to escape. And the 2015 timeline is a powder keg that is just waiting for a match.
And Steven DeMarco is holding the lighter.
Always.
So here is a final provocative thought for you to mull over. Sources describe Steven as a narcissist and a sociopath who wins by destroying others. But in a show called Tell Me Lies, is the biggest lie the characters tell themselves the idea that they can ever truly escape him? Or is Steven simply the mirror revealing the monsters that were already sleeping in their basements?
That's the scary part. He might just be the catalyst, not the cause.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.